Good morning, everyone. This is Carol Adams with Carol Adams Creations, and I'm hoping everything goes smoothly today. Um, I thought I had set all of my cameras up and using StreamYard, which is new to me. And when I got finished and watched it, I don't know if anyone remembers the scene of Singing in the Rain, where the girl that couldn't sing is saying, "Yes, no, no, no," and the voice that's coming over is, "Yeah, yes, yes, yes." Anyway, that's what it reminded me of. My voice and my mouth did not match up together. So let me know if everything is working today because I would appreciate it. So today we are going to be making an art journal. I have been wanting to do this and wanting to journal and just have felt a little intimidated. I don't know about you, but just having that white page and then not knowing what to do with it is a little challenging. So today I'm going to make an art journal, and then for the next couple of weeks, every Wednesday, probably I don't know till we fill it up, maybe I'm going to be working in my journal. And so these are some things that I have pulled together. Um, this is just, I mean, this is a magazine, and probably what I'm going to do is I will add gesso to it um, to um, to kind of tone it down a little bit, and then art journal on top of it. And then I've already got some coloring. I don't have to figure, if I want to use this, I don't have to figure out what colors to use. It will already be there. And I have a Magnolia magazine. I like to use these magazines because the paper is really thick and a nice quality. So I have that. I'm gonna put that on the floor. And if you've never seen a Somerset magazine, I encourage you, if you want to learn to art journal, they have this magazine, which is a lot of different types of projects. And they also have a magazine that's called Art Journaling. I think it's art journaling. And the thing I like about it is they have these really cool pages that is from one of the person's artwork that they have shown in the book. So I'm going to use a couple of these pages. So I've got that. I have some black cardstock because I like to work on black. Then I have just some regular cardstock. This is 11 by 17, and I'm going to tear it to give it a kind of a rough edge and to lost my train of thought. And so I'll make my own pages with that. And then I have just this. This was some packaging I got. It's some really stiff paper, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I'm going to use that. I have an old map, music paper. This is from this. I got this at Goodwill, and I was so excited to get it because this is an old electronic. Probably a classroom book. And then this one, which I just love, this is a dance book that was a textbook at Brigham Young. I just looked it up today because I thought it was kind of funny, at Brigham Young University. And so it's really funny because it's got all of these dance steps, and I just thought it was just dance steps, but it actually has tests in the book. So I guess it was a class, and not only did you have to learn, but then you had to do a test, a written test on how you learned it. Anyway, I thought that was humorous. This is a ledger that I have already watercolored on top. And, I may just leave this the way it is, or I may add something to the top of it, and the back is just plain. And this is just some more ledger paper. These are these papers that I found out of the Somerset Studio magazine. And then I have my fabric. I know I got this one from Spoonflower. I thought it was appropriate because it's got paintbrushes on top of it. And then this is just some black fabric that I'm going to use for the inside. So this is going to be the cover. and this is going to be the inside. Then I'm using Yes Paste because it's really nice and strong. I've had this probably for about 2 years, hardly used any, I've used to about right here on it, and I use it a lot. It was fairly expensive. It's like $20, $25 for the container, but it is really good adhesive, and I really like it. But you can use whatever you have. The next, I have a ruler. I have a pencil. I don't need these. Oh, well, I need those two things. A credit card to smear to smear my Yes Paste on with, because I don't like using a paintbrush because if you use a paintbrush, the paintbrush is ruined. Then I have 2 pieces of cardboard. I am going to make my book 6.5, making sure I'm right, 6.5 by 8 with a 1.5 inch spine. And so let me add this other camera. Just one thing before I do that. I realize this is already bent. It was given to me that way. But I wanted to show you that if you want to make your book really good and sturdy, if you take your cardboard and you can give it a little bend like that, that means that is not the grain of your book and it won't be as sturdy. But if you take it and try to bend it this way, you can see this bends really, really easy. So we don't want it to go this way. Okay, we want it to go this way. But since I've got this this little bent here that I don't think I want to use. Let's see. I guess I could use this way. We'll just use it this way because this is the strong way and this is the not so strong way, even though it's bent right there. Does that all make sense? I hope it does. oh, lots of information. I do apologize. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I had already measured, but I think I do want to do it this way because this way is stronger, even though we have a crease there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to measure. Yes, I'm going to measure 6.5 this way. See if you can see this. I might need to move the camera down for the next time, for the next showing. We're going to do 6.5. So I'm going to do this right there. And then I'm going to do 8 inches long. So that's going to be right there. So I'm going to do this at 8 inches here. Try to make sure it's straight as I can get it. Okay. So I'm going to cut out 2 of this shape. Okay. So there's one, and then I'll use that one for a template. And then I need one that's 1.5 inches by the 8. I'm just going to go ahead and extend this over. I'm not so certain that that was quite so straight. Okay, so we have our pieces. You need a metal ruler. This really helps you to cut. And I'm using an X-Acto. I don't know what it is. I got it at Dollar Tree, or you can get it at a hardware store. So I'm on my ugly self-healing mat here. So I apologize for the ugliness of it. I've tried to clean it and it just will not clean. So here we go. I'm just going to cut this. Whoops. If it's not, I don't know why it keeps coming up like that. I've never had that trouble. Of course I would have that trouble now. Okay, so we'll get to that. Let me do this way. I do apologize. Man, I'm doing a lousy job of cutting here. Okay, hopefully maybe that one got. Yes, that one got. That one got. I'm not even using proper English. Goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same to the back, and hopefully it'll help break that off. Break those fibers up a little bit. There we go. There we go. So now this will be our spine to our book. So we are going to cut 2 of these. It really helps if you stand up, but I don't want you to have to look at the top of my head. Or at least that helps for me. You can do it. You know, there may be a way that you do it better. You can also put this through your Cricut if you want. Your Cricut will cut it. You just have to put it on the heaviest setting and put it on matte board, I believe it is, and then have it go through it twice. Okay, so hold on. So just need to cut this one. It's almost there. Has anyone art journaled before? I've done a little bit, but I always find myself just doing what everybody else has already done. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this because I need just a little piece for that. This I'll save for another project. Okay, so we're going this way. I'm just going to put this here. I will measure around it to hopefully make sure it's the same. And we will cut this. Be very careful and please do not cut your fingers. If you'll kind of keep your fingers curled under, it will help to prevent that. That's a knife trick. That's a kitchen knife trick. Okay, I think I've got that one. Okay, just need to do this one again. Excuse me. How's the weather where you live? I thought I woke up during the middle of the night and oh my gosh, the wind was blowing so bad. I thought it was just going to blow up the grass and, you know, be like Wizard of Oz, whatever her name is, with the ruby slippers. I can't even think today. Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to measure 6.5 and 6.5. That makes 13. Plus 1.5 equals 1.5 equals 14.5. And I'm going to add another, just for safety reasons, I'm going to add another 1.5 inch. Actually, I lied. I'm going to add 2 inches. So we're going to cut this at 14.5 plus 4. So that's going to be 18.5 inches wide. We have 8 inches, and I'm going to do it 9.5. So this is going to be 18.5 by 9.5. I just want to make sure I'm cutting the fabric, and I'm wanting to make sure that I have enough fabric to go all the way around it and then fold it over on for my book. You could also just take an old book and you know, take out all the pages and do that. I just thought I would show you today how to make your own book in case you're kind of on the fence about tearing up a book. Not really tearing it up, reusing a book, I guess you could say. So I'm going to put that away. I'm going to take out my fabric. This is such cool fabric. And I want it this way. So first of all, I'm going to cut off this edge. Whoops. And I want 18.5 inches. So I actually have measurements on my board down here, but let's just do this. So we're going to go, this is 12 to right here. And we need to add 6.5, which is right there. So we need to cut it right here. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to tear. There we go. Put that aside. Okay. So now we want 9.5 inches deep. So we have 9.5. I'll just mark this all the way across because it may not tear very well going against the grain. Whoops. Hopefully if I can keep it the right measurement. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this all the way across. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fabric and give it a little crease where I know the center is. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is to glue, and see what we did is this allowed us to, now I have 2 creases here. Hold on. Which is my crease? Here we go. This one. So now I have enough extra fabric to fold this over, and then to do the same, I have enough here. Okay, so I'm going to start, and I'm going to glue this piece, and I'm just going to mark where I need to glue it. Just kind of center it on either side and center it in the middle. Then I'm just going to take my Yes paste and my credit card. You can use a spatula. You could use something else. And I'm going to give this a good coat of this. And I don't care if it gets on the fabric because I'm going to be adding it to the fabric anyway. And just, I want to make sure that this really sticks. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this onto my fabric. You don't have to do this. I just want to make sure it stays together. Okay, so now I'm going to set this down. Just right there in the middle. Give it a good press. I'm using a second credit card, and I'm just going to make sure that that is all stuck down. Now, you could, if you wanted, but I don't suggest it. You need to leave a gap between your covers and your middle so that your book can actually open and close. If you do it right against it, it's harder to open and close. Trust me. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. So that's what I cut out this for. I am going to put this right here so that I know exactly where I need to put this piece of cardboard. Okay, so let's get glue on here. Which one is my glue? There it is. Make sure I get it all nice and glued. Making sure every piece of it is getting adhesive on it. Okay. And I'm going to lift this up. Ah, so sticky. I'm going to set this down. And I'm going to place this right against it, up nice and snug, and try to get it even. I'm going to move it actually because it's in my way. I'm going to make sure that it's all the same. And I think that's good. I'm going to turn this around so it's a little easy. And if you need to, take your credit card. Whoops, made my paintbrushes kind of wonky there. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. There we go. And now we're just going to do the other side. So now let's take our second piece and give it a good coating. I got a little too much there, but that's okay. Just wipe that off. Now I think I'm going to need some more. Okay. Okay. I'm going to flip this over and do the exact same thing for this side. Just going to place it and try to make it the same as this side. So I think that's good. Press that down. I'm going to turn it over again and just make sure that all of that is done. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over, and I have got to wipe my hands off. In one sticky mess, and I just saw those wipes. There they are. In one sticky mess. Okay. Now what I like to do, we're just going to kind of wrap this like a present. So we're just going to lift this and glue this here. But instead of doing this, I am going to cut my corner. You can just take your ruler. You're just going to make a triangle. I think I'll just use this. And I am just going to cut this. There we go. It did not cut. So we'll just use scissors, okay? At least it kind of gave me a place to cut. And we don't need this much here. Like I said, I knew I was allowing too much, but I would rather have too much that I can cut off than not enough that I can't. So I'm going to cut this side as well. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to put the lid on my paste, but I still need it. Just cut it as not right on top of it, but pretty close to that edge right there. I'm going to turn this around and do the same. And do this right here. That probably wasn't as good of a triangle as it could be. And don't worry if it starts bowing. It's just the glue drying, and it will be great when we get finished with it. Okay, so I'm going to fold this down, and see, this allowed me to do this without having all that bulk when you turn it over. So I am just going to put some adhesive on the top all the way down. Make sure it's all on the top there. Okay, and I'm going to fold this down, making sure it's nice and snug, just like that. I think this piece is a little shorter than the others, but that's okay. Now I'm going to do this side. Okay, I'm going to fold this. Oops, I got a big clop of glue right there. Let's get that off. Put that right there, maybe. I'm going to fold this over and do the same to this side. And we are almost done with the front, with the outside cover. Then all we have to do is the inside cover. And we're just going to kind of do almost the same thing, just a smidge different. Okay, I forgot I hadn't done that side yet. Do that right there. Okay, I think I've got it all done. So I'm going to fold this over. Making sure it's nice and snug. And it's okay if there's a little bit of wrinkles in the back. So no one's going to see that part anyway. And then I'm going to fold this up. And we're going to set. So this is our book. Okay? Just like that. Make sure that that is up. Corner is kind of messed up right there, but I think we're good. Okay, let me do my hands again. Okay, so now all we need to do I'll leave that right there. All we need to do is measure for our inside fabric. So I want my fabric to go almost a 1/16 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch right there. Make sure that is good. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do it about like this. So we have here, this is 12 inches. And then we're going to do a little more. And this is 2.5. So that's 14.5 inches. And then this way, we want it to be about 7 3/4. So 14.5 by 7 3/4. Okay, I am actually, for this piece of fabric, I'm just going to tear it. I don't want to have to cut it. because I like the frayed edges. And so hopefully I have enough. I think I do. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. Let's see if we can tear it this way. Okay, cut it just a little bit up from that one. And if you don't like the rough edge, you could definitely just definitely not tear it. You could just cut it, but I like this rough edge on there. Or you could even sew it if you wanted. Okay, so how wide do I need this to be? I need this to be 7 3/4. Where did my ruler go? Oh, people. A blue ruler disappear. Oh, there it is. Anybody else have that trouble? Oh, be working on something and then you can't find what it is, what you need. Goodness gracious. Okay, so we want 7 3/4. I am going to cut it right there. I think that will be good. Okay. And then I need 14.5. Okay, so we're going to start here. I do a little cut and then I tear. It just gives you all this great fringe. I like that look. Some people do not. I get it. Come off. Okay, measure 14.5. This is 12. And we're going to add right there. It's like, where's my tear? Okay, so I'm going to take some of these strings off. The nice thing about the glue is it's going to keep it from fraying any more than it already has. But I love that frayed look. I think it's so cool. Now let's see if I did good. Okay. Perfect. Could have made, no, I think it's perfect. And I'm not even minding that it's a little bit too long because then that fray part is going to show up there. So we are going to glue this down and then we're going to let that dry. And then we're going to add our signatures. Well, we're going to create our signatures, I might start with. And you can just use, you could just use cardstock. You could just use scrapbooking paper. You could use copy paper, mixed media paper. I've done a lot with mixed media paper before, and it works great. It gives you, especially if you're doing like watercolor or even painting on it, the mixed media paper gives you a little bit more of, the paint won't go through, is what I'm trying to say. Gives you a little bit more of a nice canvas for that. Let me take this up. Hopefully I can get it to come off my finger. I'm making sure I get it all the way up to the top and on the sides because I know that my fabric is going to come up there. I got too much in there in that crease right there. So get some of that out. Oh yeah, goodness gracious, there was a lot in there. Enough there to cover the whole book. Okay, let me get the bottom. Then we're going to put all of this together. Make sure that's all done. Like I said, this is a great way to make a book. You can use cardboard from an Amazon box or, you know, the inside of packaging or just whatever. Be sure and try to use the direction that the cardboard has more resistance. Okay, so I'm going to close this up because I don't need it anymore. I am going to start, I think. Okay, wait. Okay, I want to make sure that everything is right. Hold on, I got a piece stuck on the back. Okay, this is the top and this is my bottom. So I want to make sure I get this fabric on correctly. I think what I'm going to do is kind of fold it up a little bit like this so that I can stick this down. Let me see, let me turn it this way. So I'm just gently sticking that down. I'm going to try to get this on straight. You might could have brought it down a little bit, but I think that's fine. So I'm going to take my other credit card and smooth this all out. I don't think I had enough adhesive right there. I have to open it back up, get some more. Okay. Just using my fingers. Best tool God gave us. Okay. Let's smooth that down. So now I have my journal book and it's all ready to be filled. And that's what we're going to do now. The fun part, putting all those signatures together. Okay, I'm going to be creating 2 signatures. And if you have no idea what a signature is basically just a collection of pages. If you look at a book, I'm trying to see if I have one here. If you look at a book that is stitched in, it's stitch bound. It is done in signatures. I'm trying to wipe some of this stuff off because I want to be able to use this again. But it may be done for. Okay. Now let me make sure all the glue is up. Okay. So we know our book is 6.5 by 8. So I want to make my pages, I'm going to make them about 6 1/4 because I don't want them to flap out out of the cover. Some people like that, but it's totally up to you. So all I'm going to do, hold on a moment, I forgot my bone folder. I am just going to fold these pages in half. I don't care if they're 6 inches or not. These are only 5 1/2. I do know I am going, oh, they're 8. Perfect. Perfect. So these are good. This one got a little messy. I'm going to actually just kind of trim that off a little bit, I think. If I can do it with this. This blue is so pretty. I'm going to fold that. So we have those 2. So that's going to be part of our signatures. I am going to fold this. I love this hole. I definitely want to keep that, but I know that it's going to be too long. I said we wanted 8. Okay, so I'm going to do it about right here. I'm just going to place my ruler, and then I'm just going to tear. That way it gives me kind of a deckled edge, and I like that. This one, let's see, I want it to be 6 inches, just a little more. Okay, I'm going to fold it there, and I know that's not 8, it's just 8 perfect. And then I'm going to do the same here. I am going to tear this other edge. And I'm definitely keeping these scraps, of which I already threw one away. Okay, so then that's one. I'll switch these. And then the hard part is figuring out how you want your papers to line up. I think this is good. 5.5 at 8. Cool. All right. We'll do the same thing with these. I know this is going to be too big. So since this is already deckled, I want it to go about right there. So I'm just going to take this and move this. I'm just going to lay this down against my ruler, lift up, and then pull towards me. Okay. Now I want this to be 6 inches. And I don't care that it's going sideways. That does not bother me. That really is 6 inches. So there, we're good. Okay, I have this map. My mother had this huge collection of maps. I don't know. I guess she got them, you know, like with the National Geographics or something. I don't know. Anyway, she had, and they're like heavy. They're like almost got a plastic coating or something on them. They're kind of strange, but they're all the states. This is not Terry. So we're just doing that. Okay, so we need 8 inches, which is almost to there. It's about right there, if I could possibly see that, and then about right there. That one's Quebec. I would love to go to Canada. Love to go to Canada. But first, I have to get a passport. My husband and I had one. My daughter went on a mission trip to Honduras. And my sister told me, because she was working at a church and their youth group was going on a mission trip. And so she told me, she says, you need to get a passport in case something happens and you have to go down to Honduras and pick her up. And I was like, that's a really smart idea. So my husband and I, we got our passports. We're so excited. That was over probably 13 years ago. And we still don't have a passport. I said, we never got a stamp in our passport. And I didn't tear it well because I was talking and not focusing on what I was doing. Imagine that. But I don't care. That's going to be fine. Okay, so this page, this is really cool wrapping. I have no idea what I got in here. But I'm just going to do, let's see. I think it will do 2 pages. What size is this? This is 8. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this a small page. And then I might even just use it for a pocket. So I'm just going to tear this right down the middle. And then I'm just going to fold this in half. That way I have one of these on each signatures. I just love the sticker hand. It said handmade. Those are kind of fun. Okay. So that leaves me with my magazines and my cardstock and 1 sheet of my black paper. See, this is 8. That's good enough. So we're going to put that in. Look at this page. Isn't this beautiful? I just love that paper. So this is 11. I want it to be 6 inches, but I don't want to waste a whole bunch. So I think I'm just going to make my pages just this size. So I'm going to do this because this is 11 by 17. So this way I'll get 2 pages in here, 2 pages out of each page. And then I'm going to put 2 or 3 of these in each signature. Now, when you do your signatures, you do not want to completely fill up your book before you start filling up your book. You want to leave some space that you're going to put all your goodies and stuff in. So I'm going to do 2. Let me do 2 of these. Let me put that away. And then I'm going to do the 2 black pieces, and then we will be done. Put that right there. If it's not accurate, it's no big deal. And this is nothing but cardstock that I just purchased. It's 11 by 17. I just purchased it off of Amazon. Okay, so those are done. I have 3 for each signature. Let me do this black. So we're going to fold this in half. Measure up 8. Now right there. And as you can tell, I'm not I'm not being exact. When I do my personal planner journals, I like to decal all 4 sides. I think it just makes it look cool. Okay. So make sure that all of this is nice and folded. And then one thing I did forget to tell you, you need a needle, a pretty big eye needle. You need an awl, which is nothing but a, the thing that makes, I don't know if anybody else is like me, but my parents had this huge ice pick I was always a little afraid of, that they used, you know, when they got the block of ice to chop on. Always scared me to death. Okay. So here we have our signatures. And now we're just going to put them together. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 pages in each signature. And so all I'm going to do is figure out which one I want for the front cover. And I'm thinking I might use that one. I think I will. And then for the other one, do I have 2 of these? I only have 1. So I'm going to use this for my front cover. Okay. So then I'm going to add a black. And I have no rhyme or reason for doing what I'm doing. I'm just picking up a page and putting it together. I'll do another white. Do a music page. Well, I need to do these. I don't think I'll do my dancing page in the front. It's so funny. I want it to go that way. I'm going to do this. Then I have this, and I have this in the middle. So this is going to be one signature. So we have that. So we'll put that aside. And then I'm going to put this one together. I am going to do, I think I'm going to do this one first. It's funny, it's already got adhesive on it. I'll add this. my magazine. Ooh, that one's really pretty. I think I'm going to do this as my cover. This is just so pretty. This is what I love about the Magnolia magazine. They have some beautiful pages. I do a lot of like collaging, and I'll use the pages from the Magnolia magazine. Let me do this one this way. Okay, that there, that there, that, the black, put the white, and then I'll add the white somewhere else. Let's just add it. It's right there, right there. Let's just add it right there. Okay. So there we go. We have our signatures ready to go into our book. And if you'll notice, when I put it in my book, please don't stick together. When I put it in my book, they're going to go like this. And it's not so much, the signatures don't fill up the book, is my point. So when you start collaging and putting everything, and you don't want your book, to end up like this. You want your book to end up at least looking like a book. If that makes sense at all. Okay, I'm gonna actually open that, let that dry. Okay, I know I'm saying okay a lot. That's just me. It's what I do. I can't help it. Okay. So I'm going to take just this extra strip of paper, and I'm going to make me a template. I'm just going to cut this off so that it is the length of really the longest page. So I'm doing what's called a five stitch, I guess you could say. I'm sure there's a different word for it, but I'm doing a 5-stitch thing. I can't think of anything today. I'm going to fold this in half. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it in half this way. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't measure. You could measure if you wanted, but I don't take the time to do that. I'm going to add a dot right there. And I'm going to add a dot right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this dot up to this dot to get the middle there. So then I'll have a dot here, a dot there, and I'm just going to eyeball that one. So these are approximately almost 2 inches apart, a little less, but about like that. And these don't have to be precise as much as they have to be precise. These holes and the holes we're going to punch in the spine, that's what has to be precise. Okay. Hold on. I feel like there was a ton of glue right there that's kind of starting to stick. So I'm trying to fix that. Okay. So I am going to take my awl, which this is an awl. You could use a any kind of puncher, piercer that you might have. Now, if you want, you can use binder clips or some kind of clips. Oops, that's not a clip. You can use binder clips to hold this together. And that really helps. So I'm making sure that they're all snug in there. I am going to place this, fold this. You can actually buy a cradle board if you want. So I'm going to place that like that. And then I'm just going to punch my holes. This is probably not going to go all the way through right now, but it will give me an idea so then I can lift it up and do it better. Okay, so now I'm just going to punch this all the way through. Make sure you don't have your finger under there. And we're going to punch it all the way through there. Please watch your hands and watch your fingers. And don't punch yourself. Okay, so we have all of our holes for our first signature. So I'm going to put that away. Let me get another clip for this one, because we're just going to do the same thing. If you have different size pages, be sure and line them up to how you want them. So, I mean, you know, spacing evenly. You don't want one page wonky way down there. You want them all nice, kind of nice and even. So let me put this on there. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this. Stick it right there in the crease. And then punch my holes. I don't think I got that one in the right spot. Okay. So here we go. We're just punching through, making sure that our fingers are not in the way. You can do this on a like some sort of cutting board or something if you're a little scared of that. And then our last one here. Okay. Oops, I didn't get that page. That was why that was happening. Okay. So now the fun part. Get a piece of chalk. Okay, so I have this 1.5 inch spine, which I'm going to mark with a piece of chalk, so hopefully you can see it a little bit better. Let's see, it's right there. Okay, that's pretty close. So we're going to find our center, which is 1.5. So that's going to be 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to mark that right there and do that all the way down. Scoot it over some. There we go. Okay. So we're going to put one signature in this row and one signature in this row. And so what I'm going to do, I am going to place my template in the middle of that, lift it all the way up, making sure that I've got it. And then I'm going to take my awl, and this may be a little bit more difficult to punch because you're trying to go through the fabric and the cardboard. Okay. If I can see those holes or not. I can't. So, hold on. Let me put my readers on. And maybe, oh, now I can see them. Okay. All right, here they are. So I'm going to push that all the way through, just the exact same way. I cannot see. There it is right there. Push that through. Do the same with the next one. The same with the next one. And then the last one. Okay. And this will be nice and sturdy and strong. when everything really dries and sets. I'm going to go back through this way and see if I can't get those holes a little bit bigger. You don't want them gigantic, but you want them big enough that your needle and thread can go through. I think my holes may be a little wonky, but that's okay. So I'm going to do the same to this one. And I need to line the top and the bottom holes up. So I'm right there. I'm pushing through and pushing through. Black may not have been the best. Black may not have been the best fabric to use here. Okay, I'm going to try to do this. See if I can kind of do that and see if I can kind of get where they are. No, that did not help a bit. Oh, well, I tried. I definitely tried. Okay. So, trying to line those up. I think I got a little off, but that's okay. I'm a little off too. So, find the other hole. This one. Right there. Yep. Trying to make sure I don't get my finger. Then the last one. Then the fun begins. We start stitching our signatures into our book. Sorry if I'm off camera. Sorry, I was trying to get that hole in there. Okay. Oh, my awl has a lot of adhesive on it. I need to clean it. Okay. So now we need to stitch our signatures in. I know I want this one in the front and I want this one in the back. Okay. So I'm going to set that one aside. I need to decide. You can use, excuse me. You can use either embroidery floss or something that's really heavy to use for this. You can even use this hemp. I got this at Michael's, I think. So I'm going to pick out a color that's going to coordinate. I'm kind of thinking of this hot pink just to be wild and crazy. Or maybe the light pink. I think I'll do the light pink. I have a purple, but it's not. I have all different colors here, but none of them really match. And I have a needle somewhere. It's usually on. Here it is. So I have a needle with a really big eye. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's got a really big eye. So don't be intimidated by this part. Once you do it a couple of times, it's really not. You just get used to it, and then it all makes sense, and you're like, oh, okay, I got it. So I'm going to take my thread. This is just wax bookbinding thread. I'm going to measure 3. That looks really pretty. 3 lengths. You could do more, but I guarantee you won't need more than that. I'm going to thread my needle. I don't even need readers for this. Okay. So you want to leave a long tail. So, like I said, this is the challenging part, but once you kind of get in the rhythm, it's not as hard as it seems. So you're going to go through the middle hole on the inside of the book. So I'm going to push my needle through that, and then I need to find it and go through here. So now we have the needle on the cover. We're going to pull through, and just to be safe, I'm going to tack this tail up underneath this clip, just like that, because I don't want it to pull all the way through. So now we have our needle and our thread, and we're going to go up to the second hole, push through, find our matching holes, bring it up through the middle, and then we're going to pull pretty tight. Then we're going up to this top hole, and we are going to find that, this is the hard part of finding the holes. You're going to find that hole, which is where, there it is. There we go. And we're going to pull. So now we have this stitch. I guess I should have done something darker. We have this stitch, and we have it coming up here. I'm going to go back through this hole right here and go all the way in. And sometimes you have to bring it back, bring it in, and then push it through. And then sometimes it's a little persnickety, and it doesn't want to, because it wants to find its own hole. There we go. Come on. Hold on. Let me loosen this up a little bit. There we go. Took that off, and it worked just great. So I'm going to pull this up and tighten it. You don't want it really, really, real tight, but you do want it tight. Now, we have this. This is what it looks like, okay? So we're going to take our thread. We're going to go back through the middle on the left side of our thread. This way it just makes it look nicer. You're going to come up through the middle, okay? And now we're going to go back, do the same thing this way that we did going up this way. So we're going to go through the second hole, find the second hole in our paper, in our signature. And sometimes you have to do it individually. There we go. Got that one. We got one more to do. Woo, that one worked. Look at that. That did perfect. Okay. So now we're going to take it and we're going to go back through this fourth hole. Come on. Work with me, baby. The other one cooperated. Why don't you? See, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. This fourth hole just doesn't want to work. Let's see here. There we go. And it's okay that all the little pieces kind of come apart, because we're going to tighten it. Let's see, there we go. Okay. So now we have our signature sewn. We're just going to pull this. That's the middle one that we started with, that we went up. So it has the tail right here. So I'm going to pull it. I told you we have enough. You're going to pull this string this way and pull this string up. And then you're simply, well, the best way to do it, before I even, hold on. I think I can do it. You're going to slip that up underneath there. I forgot that step. You're going to slip that up underneath there. And then you're going to pull, making sure it's nice and tight and it's all even. And you're going to tie it into a knot. And you can either leave these on or you can cut them off. I just kind of leave them a little bit, just like that. So now we have, whoops, now we have our first signature in our book. We are going to do the exact same thing to this other one. I'm going to measure 3 lengths of this bookbinding thread. Like I said, you can use embroidery floss. I imagine you could even use dental floss. Whatever you have will work. And I apologize for this going so long, but I want to complete this book so that you can see it completely done. And we're just going to do the same thing, okay? Taking this, I'm going through the center and then going through the center hole. Just like that, center hole, center of the book, and now we're going up. I guess you could go down first if you wanted. I just never have. I'm going to find the hole here. I'm going to find the hole in my signature here. It's kind of hard to do it this way. I can't find the hole. There we go. Bring it through. Uh-oh, did not get that page. Okay, so we're going to just, I didn't even get it done, so I'm just going to leave it out. Okay, I'm just going to pull that through. I'm going to put through the top, go through that top hole, which is right there. I can see it. Can't find it. There we go. We're going to go back through this hole to the middle of the book. See if we can get it to go in. Like I said, sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes you got to kind of work with it a little. I think I have it all the way through to here for some reason. And I'm going to go through here. Okay. So I'm going to go back down through here. It's going to go, yay, it went. We have it here. We have 2 more. We're going to go through here and find our holes. Now see, I got mine a little too far down, but you know what? That does not bother me. It does not bother me a bit. So if you're ADHD and you want it precise, do precise measurements. I'm probably ADHD, but I don't, those kinds of things do not bother me. Okay, so you can see I've got a loop up here, so I've got to figure out how to fix that. So that's that one. Let's see. Does this do it? Yeah, that just does it. So then I'm going to do this last one like that. So here we have it. I'm going to take my needle. I'm going to go up underneath this thread, take that off, pull this one up, this one down. Make sure everything's tight. You don't want it so tight that it breaks your thread, but you do want it tight, and then you're just going to tie it. I'm going to cut that off. I am going to put my needle back on my template. I'm going to put them all up. And now we have our own put together original art journal. That's all ready to go, ready for us to add collage, splatter paint, and decorate this however we want to. Now, if you're using, just one last quick tip, and then I'll be done, I promise. If you're using really fragile old paper, you can use washi tape. to reinforce that edge before you put it in your book. To be honest with you, I forgot to do that. So there's our first signature. Here's our second. Those two don't go quite well together, but that's okay. You may want to look at that. We have all of this goodness that is just ready for us to decorate, to learn about our art supplies and what we have in our arsenal of crafts. And that's it. There's our art journal. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me remove that one. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will make your own art journal, whether you make your own book, or you use just a regular book. I thought I had one here, but I guess I tried to clean up yesterday, so I guess I've already put it away. But this is going to be so much fun to work in, and I don't have to worry if I mess up, because it's my journal. I'm not publishing it or anything, unless maybe it's a fantastic page, but so that's all you need. And if you need any more information, if you need some help, you need some instructions, just let me know. I'll be glad to help in any way I can. I hope you've enjoyed this. And again, my name is Carol Adams with Carol Adams Creations, and I thank you so much for your support of my small business. Bye, everybody.